Peace, think fast. Man, that time has passed. What you talking about? Time don't exist. That time has passed. And what I'm getting into is following the intuition and knowing when when to follow the intuition, or knowing when you're trying to push through on some egotistical stuff. So the reason why I brought up this, said it like this, the time has passed. Like, say for instance, I get an intuitive vibe to go to the grocery store right now, you know what I'm saying? Cool. Now, in that moment, I could either, go straight there, or let's just say, all right, I catch the urge to go to the grocery store, you know. Then for a little second, I'm like, all right, let me finish this up right quick. And then as I go back to wanting to go to the grocery store, like I got a strong vibe to just like, do something else or don't worry about it. Then that's your intuition letting you know that time has passed. Like, don't try to force it. Like, sometimes we get into that ego of like, well, I said I was going to go to the grocery store, so I gotta go, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it goes outside of your intuition. And that's the reason why we miss a lot of our synchronicities. And, and that's, well, yeah, in essence, you're missing your synchronicities because you're not lining up with the timing of your intuition. Your intuition telling you to go left right now, turn right here, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is a timing because you shifting and maneuvering, you co-creating, so whatever person you probably, the universe setting you to line up with, they moving around and stuff too. And say for instance, now, again, wanting to go to the store, maybe when the time I caught that urge, the person I was supposed to line up with, whatever the situation was supposed to be, it was for that moment, but once I started to do something else, it's like, all right, that time's passed. Now your synchronicity is somewhere else, But just bringing that aspect up of how, like something will pop up intuitively and the time will pass on it, but we'll still forcefully like go through, not realizing that that's our logic or our ego just saying, well, I said I was going to do this, so I'm going to do it. Like that structure logic part, instead of feeling, it. And think about that, like instead of feeling the vibe of like, because if you really feel the vibe, you could feel it that, all right, I don't have the urge to go to the grocery store no more. But it's that brain that said, like the brain on some shit like, well, no, we said we was going, so we going because we thought it. We said it, and that's what we going to do, you know what I'm saying? Instead of like, but I'm not feeling it right now, you know what I'm saying? It's about the feeling, Again, reason why the women are more stronger psychics by majority, dealing with the emotions and the feelings, what you feeling, not what you thinking. What you're thinking is, in essence, making assumptions, and assumptions, when you make assumptions, you make the first three letters out of yourself. Assumption. You know what I'm saying? That's some etymology for your ass. Gotta stop making those assumptions. You know what I'm saying? But just back to the vibe of dealing with your intuition. That's another aspect. Going with what you feeling. Because our brain and our logic have a certain construct about our day. Like I say, for instance, I got my day kind of mapped out in essence. Where like, all right, I'm gonna go to the last bookstore. I'm gonna go to Little Ethiopia. I'm gonna go here. And I have that in essence lined up. But things that happen, and then I catch that vibe because too, or like one of the things too that kind of allowed for me to recognize this was working with my pendulum. Because one day I was working with my pendulum and I asked it, should I go to this certain little place? And it was like, yeah, like cool. And then a few minutes or seconds later, I didn't say seconds, but probably like a few minutes later, I asked on some make sure type of vibes, and then it was like, no. And I asked again, it was like, no. I'm like, damn, you just told me to go to that place. So I'm like, all right, no. And so I didn't go that place and went about my business, but then end up finding that I had like a little synchronized situation for me, you know, going outside of the place I had set for myself, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the timing on that situation that didn't pass. So, you know, what I mean by, you know, the time them pass is, you know, you get these intuitive vibes to go certain places, but it's lined up for a certain timing in essence in a lot of cases, and when you don't meet that little window of timing, then it's like, all right, on to the next one, you know, do something else. But we'll get caught up in being locked in the logic of, hey, I said I was gonna do this, so I gotta do it. So you don't really, you know, you block your blessing in essence because you're too much in your mind with it, you know, and that again showing how the mind get in the way, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's why it's so important to, you know, open up that heart chakra, you know, gain that intuition, you know, open up that pineal, but for sure about that heart center, you know. The heart is our soul intelligence in essence, you know. You done caught that feeling, like thinking takes time, you know. Thinking I gotta, you know, to develop a thought, or, you know, it takes me sitting there and like, well, all right, what about this, or what about, you know, it takes time to go through a thought. But emotion is like this, you know what I'm saying? Like your heart, you know, feelings, it's like that. The perfect example I use of that is that when I got that phone call about my pops passing away, like I would thinking would be like hearing it and then, wait, hold on, what was just said? Let me assess this. You know what I'm saying? Compared to like, as soon as I heard it, it was like, oh, like, matter of fact, what's funny, like, I never forget that, because I used to clown and think that, like, when people be passing out or hooping and hollering, not say hooping and hollering, but like when people get weak or pass out at funerals, I used to kind of think of that as like overacting or faking, until I realized, like, oh wait, that might have some truth to fainting, like feeling like that. Cause I ain't gonna lie, like my knees buckled. I was like, whoa. I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? And with that vibe, matter of fact, my human self kind of going back there a little bit. But anyway, my father, matter of fact, he's around me, with me. But you know, in that moment, you know, the feeling just bam, like lightning strike, like ain't even wasn't no time for nothing to develop. It was just like bam, feeling, you know what I'm saying? Because and that's why it's about following your feelings and not your thoughts, because things manifest on a quantum level. Things manifest on some, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, bam, all right, that person not in that same place no more. Go this way, you know what I'm saying? But it's all about being guided by your feelings, you know what I'm saying? Not being guided by your thoughts. And again, back to the missing of the time, and don't let your logic of, I said I had to do this, or I said I had to go there, you know, block you from, you know, going to the other place that the universe is influencing you to go to. I say universe, higher self, inner source. No, it's you. It's you dealing with you. It's not no outside being that's controlling your life, none of that. You know what I'm saying? We all are extension of source. You know what I'm saying? Just different little aspects and perspectives of one big body, you know. But definitely something that I just wanted to share, you know, with dealing with the intuitive vibes, you know, because that's one of the things that a lot of people, reason why a lot of y'all have so many questions for, you know, somebody like myself, or like, you know, somebody that does videos or does this type of work, is because you still haven't done your own work to tap into your intuition heavily. Because, like, say for instance, ain't nothing wrong with asking questions, but I think about like those questions that's just like simple Simon, where, you know, you either could Google it, or it's something that your intuition should be telling you to do, you know what I'm saying? And not really, you know, look outside yourself on that type of vibe. But, you know, again, we all on our growth, so I'm not like trying to, you know, but again, we all done, you know, been through different parts of our growth, different places, so there's no nothing wrong with being at any stage of your growth. But definitely, you know, again, the importance to following the intuition, though. But the reason why I get stung so hard, like why my books had got stolen, or why certain situations happen to me like that, is because I didn't follow my intuition. And like it's on some like Michael Jordan type of vibe, like, you know, so it's really on me, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm one of the good the great players on the team in essence, and not on no ego vibe, you know what I'm saying? So matter of fact, let's just say I'm like in comparison, like a good player, gets punished more harshly than a player that's not, that may not be as prized to the coach, or whatever the case may be, because it is a situation where it's like just one little small something, it is, again, it's almost like Michael Jordan, you can't miss that shot, like, bro, you better go run 100 laps, like and that's the whole vibe. Is like if I don't follow my intuition, like I have something strongly, and two, knowing what it is, because as it's happening, or as the whatever it is that seems bad to my ego is happening, like I'm catching the omens in the moment, like, all right, that's for not following that intuitive vibe I caught about this or that, you know what I'm saying? Like I recognize it later. And that's what journals come in at too, you know what I'm saying? Because you could be keeping up with, when I followed this voice, this happened. But then when I follow my feelings, this happened, you know what I'm saying? You could keep log of that as well. Because in essence, that's programming your subconscious, in essence, to fall more in line with following your intuition as well. So, but definitely getting that intuition up, and meditation first and foremost for clearing the mind, to be able to even hear and follow that intuitive feeling, because here it is, you catch the intuitive feeling, but the noise of your thoughts, because you being in the habit of always being in your thoughts, the noise of your thoughts is going to fight against it so strong, you're just going to still follow a voice, so say for instance, people who new to meditation, new to all that, what's happening is, your intuitive voice is always there, but as it tell you, hey, buy that book. Your noise of your brain has been so strong that as soon as your intuition tell you about that book, but I know you ain't got this money, like instantly, like the naysaying and all the negative and all the things to try to analyze and take it away as the thoughts that's coming in, right after you have the intuitive thought, it's tearing it down. Like that's why the cliche little phrase of go with your first mind, like always go with the first mind, always go with the first mind. Like that's one of those little cliches, seem like a little, I say ignorant vibe, but like just always go with the first. But I mean that it has some very very substantial sauce to it. Follow the first mind, because what's coming in second is coming to analyze and be analytical and tear down the first thought you had. You always notice that, and it's about going with the flow, because you learn too. So say for instance, sometimes you might have an impulse from the ego or whatever that might pop up. All right, go through it, you know what I'm saying, and see what it was, you know what I'm saying, and then you'll realize, like, start being able to read how you felt before you acted upon that situation, and you'll be able to start telling whether it came, the impulse of the physical nature, or impulse of the higher nature, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, we got consciousness all over the body. Sometimes the stomach consciousness is a little louder than the rest of than the heart and the mind. And the stomach like, bruh, like eat right now, you know what I'm saying? And they want you to eat something heavy, like, because matter of fact, it's detached from the heart and the mind. So it's like, fuck the other shit. Like, we want something heavy, you know what I'm saying? Because it's only thinking about itself, in that mode, in which I forgot how I was going. Bring that to the aspect of dealing with your intuition, but I know it had to do with going with your first mind or something, but it'll come back. oh, like how sometimes your body and your lower self could in essence, not to say be your first mind, but like, you know, come at you in a type of way that may seem like it's your first mind in essence. But again, and if it do, you know, go through with it. But always be following intuition, because I know my intuition. I have a vibe where I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm going, you know, why I'm being influenced by my stomach. But then that intuition will still sleep through there, like, nah, you better, all right, it's all right to eat. But basically like agreeing to a certain extent where it's like, it's all right to eat. But don't be fooled like by your stomach going with just some old super heavy shit. Like, you know, put some healthy stuff in there as well, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's that vibe, you know, as well. But that's it. I just kind of want to share a few little thoughts on, you know, on how to follow your intuition, you know, and how, again, like the windows of synchronicity, you know, may have a plan to go this place or do a certain thing at a certain time, but, you know, that window may pass, you know, depending on, you know, if you go to doing something else or whatever, and then you want to go back to like, all right, well, let me make sure I take care of what I had set for myself. It's like, nah, the energy's done switched and changed. You know, it's time for you to take a different path, you know. So just being aware of that, you know, to not be bullheaded and forcefully go through something that you quote unquote had planned, and to just really follow your intuition. Because again, you know, the timing of things, you know, will change. Peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past.